Okay, we're live. This is James Maduke speaking. I'm going to be covering today a video that is especially for people who are online course creators, people who are just starting out, maybe a little bit overwhelmed, struggling with trying to put all of this stuff together, and more importantly now, even frustrated or even scared of all of the AI stuff, which you can't get away from now. If you're doing any kind of work, creating how-to material, putting this stuff together, you're going to have to learn how to use ChatGPT now just to keep up, or Claude, or any of the other tools. And then you've got all this information, it's completely overwhelming. And even though there's ChatGPT and these tools available that say you can create a course in 12 minutes, it's not true. You can't create a course in 12 minutes, and even having better prompts or some big fancy prompt is not what you need to create great online courses. What you really need right now is something a little simpler or easier, and what that is a recipe. You need an AI recipe. So if you're busy building your personally branded campus, you want to teach online, you want to start build and grow your education business, you got ideas for courses, this recipe that I'm going to teach you for creating online courses using AI tools is something you're going to watch through. And I use the word recipe because it is kind of technically like cooking. And we're going to go through an example, and I'm going to show you the 4 steps in cooking and the 4 steps that you're going to need, or that I follow. Obviously you can look at it and say, hey, this is what I need or what I don't need, but this is a 4-step recipe that I use, and I'm sharing it with you. So let's take a look at that recipe and how it kind of all fits together. And again, I'm building out these recipes for all of the AI tools and prompts that I have, and all of this is available for you. I said you don't need any fancy new prompts. I don't think that's worthwhile anymore, is learning a whole bunch of new prompts. What I think is more beneficial and what has helped me is I take the prompts that I already have and making sure I use them at the right time, in the right amount, in the right order, just like baking, just like a recipe. So let's say, for example, you're cooking pancakes, which is a good example to show. So if you're cooking pancakes, this is normally what happens, right? You get into the kitchen and you need to make sure you've got like a clean space that's open. You're going to have to go and make sure you got a frying pan, you got a burner that's open, that you have a place to mix the batter, you have all of a kitchen that's ready to do your baking. Now, if you go into the kitchen and there's 3 other people creating 3 other meals, and they're all different meals strewn all over the place, you're going to be fighting for counter space. You're going to have all different ingredients all over the different places. So it doesn't work that way. So you got to make sure you got a kitchen put together and it's prepped perfectly. The next thing is that when you have your kitchen ready, you want to make sure that you collect the ingredients that you know is in the recipe. So you want to make sure that you have some eggs, you have some dried batter or the ingredients for a dried batter, that you've got butter, that you've got water, and you know exactly where those ingredients are, and you know, more importantly, that you have enough of them. So you got your kitchen prepped, you got all the ingredients that are ready for you. And then after that, you got to go, okay, great, I got my ingredients. What do I do with them now? You have to mix them. And if you ever mix pancake batter before, you know what happens. Sometimes if you don't put enough water in, they're too lumpy and you bake the pancakes and there's big chunks of batter. On the other hand, you put too much water in and you got these things running all over that are impossible to flip. So you have to organize them and make sure that you have the right amounts for you, for the kind of pancakes that you're going to be cooking. And then finally, when you have the batter all mixed, you want to make sure that you get pretty good at flipping pancakes. I remember the first couple times I did it. If it's a watery pancake and you try and flip it, man, it's all over the place. And you flip half of it, doesn't flip properly, or if you wait too long to flip it, it's burnt. If you don't wait long enough, it's runny. So you have to actually get flipping pancakes, and it takes a little bit of practice at doing that. So how does that fit into creating online courses? Well, let's take a look at this 4-step process here, and we'll go through what you need to do in the steps of the process that I'm going to share with you right now. But I want you to also remember all of the prompts that I'm going to use are common prompts. They're not new prompts, and they're all available in the trainingsites.io campus, along with this map, so you can go and download it. If you haven't already, it's trainingsites.io/join. It's free to join. We have all of our DIY courses are all here. They're all available for you, and it has everything to do with starting, building, and growing an education business, and using AI and AI tools to actually do that. And more importantly, recipes that work to do that. So let's take a look first at number one. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. We'll talk about course research. Course research is the first step. You got to get ready. Think of it as your kitchen prep. So when you're creating your kitchen, you're putting it together. Let me just make this a little bit bigger now. There we go. So when you're doing kitchen prep, you got your kitchen ready. What is it for courses? So what I want you to do is I covered a video before. This is really important about creating your personal video teaching style. I did a video, I'll put it in the links below this, but it's about creating a video profile so that any of the tools any of the prompts that you make give you a consistent output based on your video teaching style. So this is the first thing you have to do. If you haven't done that already, make sure to watch that video and get your video profile available, because you need to use that anytime you use any of the AI tools. Doesn't matter which ones they are. So that's the first thing. The other 4 points there is, first thing, you got to identify target audience for your course. So this is getting your kitchen prepped. Your course, who is it for? So for example, for me, I know just from the YouTube videos that I've done that the majority, almost 70% of the people that are watching all of the videos that I have, and the majority of the courses, are 45 years and plus. So I know that from going back to my stats and my analytics. So you need to know, if I'm going to create a course, who's it for? Is it for over 45 coaches, consultants that are struggling, or like, you have to have that profile put together. And again, I've included all the prompts, common prompts, nothing new, that'll allow you to do this, each of these individual steps. You need to make sure that identify the pain points, right? You have to have a really, really good idea of what their challenges are and know the reason that you're making the course, if something exists or that's even a question that they're answering. And you want to get that theme put together. What is the big picture, the big answer, the transformation that you're providing? So if you're thinking about baking pancakes as an example, you want to make sure that people want pancakes. If they don't want pancakes, don't bother cooking them. You want to know what kind of pancakes that they want. If they're gluten-free, they don't want regular pancakes, they want gluten-free pancakes. And the theme for it is, you may have that kind of answer for it, but what do they want around it? And I'm talking about, if you're making pancakes, are they looking for chocolate chip pancakes or blueberry pancakes? You want to focus in on your theme, or have a really good idea of what kind of pancakes or what kind of course you're creating, who it's for, what the problem is, and you want to identify the transformation that you're providing. And what I'm talking about, what I'm really talking about is, if you're cooking breakfast, do people only want pancakes, or are they looking for brunch? Do they want the huge meal with all of the bacon and eggs and fruit and all that kind of stuff, or they just want some pancakes, basic pancakes? So have you got the right time, the right content for the right people? That's getting your course ready and making sure that you've done the research. And this is the first step you always have to take. There's no getting away from it. Every course that you do, whether it's a mini course, micro course, big program, you're going to make sure that you do your kitchen prep, that you get ready to do your baking. That's the first part of the recipe, is putting that all together. So what happens after that? Next thing that happens after that, of course, is we want to make sure that we have the right topics for the course. So if I'm got a course idea, I've verified it, I'm good to go on that, I got some steps here. I got to use some AI prompts in this order. And again, I've included the prompts for this, but you want to collect the ingredients. So if you're making pancakes, you need to know, do I have the egg? Do I have the ingredients that I need for my course? And this is where you use tools like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini 2.0 Flash now, and Notebook LM, that you can do all of this work and all of this course ingredients, the information that you need for the course that is part of the topic and the theme that you've selected, that big picture about what you're going to fix for people or show people or teach people how to do. So you want to make sure you collect your ingredients. And when you're cooking something, if there's 10 ingredients that need to go in, you have to make sure that which are the 10 ingredients that I know. You don't put another 10 ingredients out. You just figure out, get my ingredients, put them together for the meal that or the pancakes I'm going to be doing. You don't add stuff that doesn't go in. You just make sure that you have them there available to you. Now, you don't have to pick out, in this case, you don't have to come up with the right ingredients. You just want to make sure that you have the ingredients. So you don't need the right amount at this time. You just want to make sure that you have them, and those are the only ones that you have them available. So here's some ideas that I usually do for this is if you pick the theme in step 1, what you want to do is you want to pick 10 topics that relate to the theme. And again, I've included some prompts on this one. They're all available to you. And basically what you're doing is think of 10 lessons. So you've got the actual theme. You want to go and pick the topics that are related to that particular theme. And then from there, what you need to do and what you can do with the prompt that I've included here, and I've got a 1-10-25 kind of map that I put to process and prompts for this. But from there, you're going to go and say, okay, I've got 10 lessons. For each of the individual lessons, I want to have at least 10 to 25 semantically relevant, high volume questions and topics for each of these particular topics. So questions and challenges people have for each. So if you got 10 topics and you do 25 questions, that's 250 questions, 10 lessons. You got 10 lessons, 25 questions each, so you got 250 things that you can cover. And those is all of the ingredients that you've collected, but you put them into kind of 10 different things. And from there, what I suggest that I do is when you do all that work on ChatGPT and Claude, any of these tools, what you want to do then, and what I do at this point, is I save it as a markdown file. And you can ask any of these tools to actually save it as a markdown file. And a markdown file, they usually have an extension of .md, and all of the ChatGPT and the large language models, I don't know of any that don't, but they kind of use this markdown file in order to keep or organize the way that they display content. The cool thing is that if you're using a mind mapping software, which I'll get to in the next step, is you can automatically import a markdown file into a mind map. So there we go. Number 2, you got your ingredients for your pancakes, you got your ingredients or the pieces for your course. What's next? Well, after that, you want to make sure you got your ingredients. If you're making pancakes, man, you got to mix the batter. And if you don't do that properly, you're stuck with lumpy ones or watery ones or ones that are missing ingredients. So you have to actually mix them and make sure that you get the batter that's the batter that you want, that you know works, and you have it ready for the next step. It's the exact same thing with your courses. You want to organize the lessons based on the ingredients that you collected, that one big theme, the 10 topics, and the 25 questions for each topic. You want to organize those so that you can put together the pieces that you need in the right order for your course delivery in a way that people can follow along. And you do that by taking that markdown file and importing it into a mind map. And that mind map, sorry, I didn't have the screen up for you. You want to take this, I'm just talking here about the first one. Sorry, I wasn't showing this earlier. I brought it up now. So the first step is you want to create a course mind map with the markdown file. So you're going to import that markdown file. You're going to open it up and it's going to create a mind map for you. And again, I'll put the link to that video below so that you haven't seen it yet on how that works. But if you've got the 1, 10, 25, the 1 will be the hub of the mind map. The 10 will be the first 10 points, and there'll be 25 options off of each one. So you're going to see a big picture of everything. And from that, what you need to do is take some looks at it and organize, are these the appropriate questions? Do they need to be answered? Is there a particular order that I need these things put together? So this is with you taking a look at this and having or creating a syllabus is the big picture for that. So you're going to use the prompts, again, the ones that I have, and it's going to help you create the lessons or the structure that you want. And think of this as your course syllabus. And then from that, the one thing that I love doing on this anytime I'm creating courses, and it's sometimes challenging, but if you get the hang of it, you're going to have far more consistent and better pancakes and far more consistent and better courses, is if you can create the lesson content that is the same in each of the lessons, and hopefully, I'm not talking about the sex, but the actual text, but I'm talking about the format and the layout is consistent. If you can have a steady or a consistent lesson layout, it makes the courses more effective because people are able to follow along. If you find one like that, you're gonna have a lot easier way to get people to understand what it is that you're doing. So I've included some prompts here for creating the lesson content and the lesson structure. And that's your job, is you've got this mind map now. You got to take a look at those 25, see which are the ones that I want, and then figure out for each of those 10 key topics, I want to create some lesson material to fit into the syllabus that covers the points that I need to cover that were those 25 questions and challenges. So you do one for topic one, and you do the same thing for the rest of the topics. Now, the interesting thing is when you're looking at these, often what happens is you'll look and say, I got 10 topics, but you go, oh, wait, these 3 topics are a mini course, or I don't have to do all 10. I should only do 3 and put that as a mini course or a micro course. Or one topic, I could make a little micro course. That's a better way to do it. So that's a great benefit of doing it all in a mind map. And when you use some of the prompts here that I've included, they're not fancy prompts, they're not new prompts, they're prompts that you probably already used, but if you use them in this particular recipe, you're going to end up at the end of it where you've got a perfect batter all ready for the next step, which of course is the one that sometimes people struggle with, and it's about flipping pancakes. Now, if you've ever flipped pancakes before, what happens the first time you flip them? Well, first of all, if you have no room to flip them, a lot of people go right to this step. Like, oh, great, I'm got everything. I'm just going to flip away. It's put together, but they didn't do any of the recipe stuff, or they didn't get their kitchen ready to do it. They didn't make sure they had all the ingredients. They didn't mix them in the right way, and they're right to this flipping part. It's an absolute nightmare for you if you're trying to create pancakes the same way each and every time. So you think about this, you've now got the mixed batter, you've got your content organized, you've got your course syllabus put together, you've got your lesson content put together and key points, you've got everything that you need to move forward. What do we do now? Well, one of the things that you can do is get a little extra help from tools like ChatGPT. And what is that all about? Using it to create things like a video script. I don't use a video script personally. Some people do when they start out because they get a little bit nervous. I just use points or bullet points, but you can use a prompt here, create a script. If you've got a teleprompter or you don't feel comfortable talking into the camera, you can follow along with the script and get better at that and use some of the prompts to get the kind of script, the language of the script that is you, that can be authentic. If you generate it, you're just going to make sure that you review it, make sure it's your own, adjust it, and then you got to record it. You do have to get in front of the camera if you are creating online video tutorials. This is not a course about creating faceless videos. Technically, you could do that too. I don't recommend it, but it is available. But you've got some kind of script where you've actually got to create the content. And this is like flipping the pancake, right? If you flipped your first pancake, what happens? You flip it. Does it flip perfectly the first time? No. Sometimes it folds in half. Sometimes it doesn't flip at all. Other times, you flip it and it's off to the side. Half the batter's off to the side. Takes a while to get used to it so that hey, cool, this is how I flip pancakes. And if you have the ingredients right, the batter right, and you got space to do it, anytime you want to flip a pancake, you can flip it pretty quickly because you have the recipe now. This is the exact same thing as if you're creating online courses. If you follow a recipe like this, just with prompts you already know, you don't have to do anything fancy. You can do 1 course, 2 courses, 3 courses as quickly as you want. You can use the AI tools, fine-tune the responses, organize your research, put it together and make it your own, of course with the knowledge and experience that you have, and you can do courses or mini courses as quickly as you want. And the cool thing is that if you get the hang of this, if you flip pancakes enough times, it gets to be a lot of fun. You can create videos quickly and easily, and if you're starting and building an education business, this is one of the things that you're going to have to do, in my opinion, especially if you're building out a personally branded campus, is you got to create YouTube videos Same process for YouTube videos or online courses. So take a look at this. If it makes sense to you, go and visit trainingsites.ai. Join. All of the materials are here, the maps are here, the prompts are here. Just look at this recipe and say, okay, cool, I can follow that recipe, and they'll got the steps for you. Just go and do it. Make some pancakes, have some fun. My name is James, trainingsites.ai. I hope you enjoy this. We do them every day. If you want to start building your education business, make sure to join below. And again, like, subscribe to the channel, and take care and expect the best.